So over the weekend, there was a new playtest for an upcoming FPS game called XDefiant. If you haven't heard of it, it's being developed by Ubisoft, and the team working on it has developers from the prime days of CoD Multiplayer. I think there's even a CoD Pro, I think his name is Aches, that's working on this game too as a developer. The marketing strategy they've been pushing over on Twitter, they've been targeting people who've missed that like old school multiplayer feeling, and they actually promised to bring back the good old days of no strict skill-based matchmaking, red dots on the mini-map, map voting, and a lot other features that the older Call of Duty games had. And obviously this caught my attention because I miss just being able to hop on, have fun, without sweating my entire life away playing a game. But luckily I was able to try out XDefiant for the first time, and it wasn't really an exclusive playtest. All I had to do was just search up XDefiant code in the Twitter search bar, and I found some codes very easily. Before I even talk about that though, I have to mention that this game was under an NDA, so I can't show any updated gameplay in this video, but I can talk about the game. Just like how I Twitter searched though to get my code, you can, look up XDefiant gameplay on the search bar, maybe you'll find something. But the first mistake that I made for this game was trying to play it on the PS5. Apparently this was the first console playtest that they had, so there was definitely some issues going into it. I heard that even the Xbox players were having like constant crashes for the whole weekend. But over on PS5, when I played, the major issue that I kept having was how clunky and inconsistent the aiming and gunfights were. No matter how many times I changed my settings, went through the sensitivity or whatever, I could not find anything that worked. But luckily the team already addressed all of that on Twitter, and that's probably the biggest thing that has me optimistic for this game. The communication and transparency has been top tier. I mean, it's still very early, so that can change as the game grows and gets closer to launching, but they are doing a good job with it so far, so I have to give credit where credit is due. But right now I think the overall game, it feels all right for the most part. It kind of reminds me of like CoD Mobile or like CoD Online, if you've ever played that, mixed with a little bit of Black Ops 4. That's like the two games I would compare it to. The graphics and the art style remind me of CoD Mobile, and the gameplay reminds me of BO4. They even have specialist abilities in this game. You can use Vision Pulse, Health Boost, Active Camo, Shields, and more. The only difference is that the specialist characters are based on other Ubisoft games such as Far Cry, Splinter Cell, Watch Dogs, I think Ghost Recon 2. Even down to the loadout feature, it's inspired by Modern Warfare 2019's Gunsmith system. I just hope that XDefiant can really like develop its own style, because right now it can kind of feel generic because a lot of these things aren't unique. I know it can be kind of hard to innovate on what already works, but this game is definitely going to need something to make it stand out from all the other FPS games on the market right now. I will say though that the roster of weapons they have are really solid. Some of my favorites were, of course, the MP7, that's one of my favorite guns of all time. They got the ACR, the M4, MP5, P90. I'm kind of an AR SMG guy, so I'm a little biased, but they have a little bit of something for everybody. The maps were decent for the most part, but I just wonder how they will kind of flow in like non-objective modes like a TDM or free-for-all. The spawns weren't that great in the pre-alpha, a lot of times where I spawned in front of people. But for the playtest, they had Domination, Hardpoint, Safeguard. Those weren't like the actual names for like two of them, but that's exactly what the modes were. And then they had a mode called Zone Control. I don't really know what else I can compare that to, but that's in the game right now. The movement definitely could be smoother, especially when it comes to like climbing and sliding. You also can't go prone in this game, but I didn't really mind it too much, but it would have been nice to kind of like drop shot here and there. I would 100% like to see some type of kill streaks be added into this game. At bare minimum, we need a UAV, a counter UAV, some type of airstrike, I don't care what it is, ammo resupply, because they don't have a perk system in this game currently. We'll get to that in a minute, but we definitely need a nuke kill streak. Most of all, a nuke somewhere. I don't care if it's 25, hopefully it's 25 kills, but 30 at the max. There isn't a perk system, so it kind of forces you to pick a character with like the passive traits that you want. Hopefully they do add, some basic perks like Scavenger, Ghost. I know there is something that like kind of hides you, as one of the passive traits, but you know, it's not going to be as consistent as a perk. Oh yeah, and I have to mention this, especially after Modern Warfare 2's release. The UI in this game is clean and straightforward. The only thing I will like kind of want to see is like the ability to change the minimap from a circle to a square, just so I can like see more, and then customizing like the size of the HUD, because I feel like, you know, some certain elements could be a little bigger. Pause. The audio though, the secondary weapons, and you know, a few animations, I feel like that could use some adjusting, but obviously, like I said, it is a pre-alpha, so it's not going to be perfect. I just hope Ubisoft does not rush this game out. They need to give this team enough time to launch this game properly, because first impressions mean everything, especially for a game like this where it's multiplayer. People have short attention spans that usually play multiplayer games. I'm just being honest. People will lose interest quickly if issues aren't ironed out. Also, there has to be a consistent stream of updates and good content to keep this game healthy. I know this project doesn't have a crazy budget compared to like a Call of Duty or even like a Battlefield, but as long as they maintain communication and like passion, I feel like they could have success with XDefiant. It might not replace like the prime years of CoD, but it can definitely be a fun experience 100%. I just hope this game does well, or even better enough to just make CoD pick up its slack, because competition is really important. Because back when Battlefield and CoD were going back and forth, shoot, even Rainbow Six, I'm just like thinking of some other games, like it was a lot of competition. Now it's just like the FPS scene is kind of dry and Call of Duty is just there. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this could be the next big thing, or will it come and go like a lot of other CoD killers that we've seen in the last few years? But other than that, that's gonna wrap it up for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like if you did enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.